I'm Tally Woe, and you stand up straight when you talk to me. Let's get into some videos.
What if every time you went to sleep and you woke up, you passed into a nearby and very similar universe, but not quite the same? And depending upon your choices and how you live your life, it's how you wake up and what new one you pop into on the other side. And everyone's just a little bit different. The whole world changes just a little bit each time you make a decision, one way or another. Everything changes when you wake up. You think the world is static because it is when you're awake. But you have no fucking idea what's happening while you're asleep. And when you wake up again, you have this foggy recollection of the past. And that's what you're going by. That nothing's changed and everything's static. And while you were asleep for 8 hours, are you sure those memories are real?
So that's a little bit of a stretch. Um, I can see where he's going with it though. It's like, what if every single choice you make throws you into a different universe? Like you'll leave your house and you leave your house and that's just the universe as it is. You leave in your universe. All right, so you had a plan already on which road you were going to take to work, stuff like that. And that was the one universe. But let's say you just on a whim decided not to go that way and you took another way. And just that decision right there threw you onto a whole new universe of options and choices and futures. You see what I'm saying? Which, I mean, that's just how life goes. But metaphysically, what if that was actually happening? That'd be crazy.
Ever wonder why the powers that be always broadcast what they're gonna do before they do it? It's not to avoid karma. That's not how karma works. The reason is because the powers that be are archons. Archons were spoken about in the ancient Gnostic texts. Archons are thought forms that cannot manifest on their own because they have no love or connection to the cosmic womb, and therefore cannot utilize the law of attraction. So they use us humans to manifest by putting ideas in our faces. Once we see the idea and experience an emotion about the idea, we manifest it for them. So they don't tell us what they're going to do before they do it. They tell us what they want to happen, and we make it happen by experiencing negative emotions about it happening.
I like that. I like that. Um, I don't even think I can go more into depth about it, but I'm gonna try to explain it from a different perspective. It's like when they tell you think positive, always give yourself positive affirmations and never speak negatively of yourself or never speak negatively of the world around you and stuff. It's like the energy that you create mainly from negativity being able to spread faster than positivity for whatever reason. All I'm going to say is, what if you didn't give in to any of your negative emotions or negative thoughts and you never opened your mouth to try to spread that negativity, whether it's accidentally, whether it's, intentionally? Like, what if you just didn't do it and you only spread the positive ideas, the positive opinions, the positive emotions? Maybe the world would get a lot more positive because we're not feeding into what they, I don't know who they is, but we all know who they is collectively, but I don't know who they are individually. But what if they only got their win because we manifest that stuff into fruition? What if we make it real and all we have to do in order for them not to win is to just stop doing it? Stop spreading chaos. Stop being negative. Think about it.
Everything you know and love is based on quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics in turn is based on the multiverse. And we're not talking about Marvel comics. We're not talking about Spider-Man. We're talking about the laws of physics are defined in a multiverse. Now, how do you explain the multiverse to an average person? Take a look at radio. If you walk into your living room, how many radio stations are there in your living room? Hundreds of radio stations, right? But your radio is only tuned to one frequency. And that's why you hear only one station. But how many stations are there in principle in your living room? Hundreds of vibrations. Now replace the radio with electrons. The electron is a wave governed by quantum mechanics. And how many waves are there of these electrons? An infinite number of waves. But you are tuned to one frequency. That's why you exist with parallel universes. In your living room, there are dinosaurs. In your living room, there are pirates. In your living room, there are aliens. The thing is, you are no longer vibrating in unison with them. You've bifurcated.
So to dive into what he's saying, they say that there are way more dimensions than what we can perceive. We perceive everything in three-dimensional form. Now, there are animals, octopus, certain types of reptiles that can see thousands more colors than we see, and they say that octopus can see into other dimensions. Okay, so basically, if 11 dimensions exist and we can only perceive and interact with 3 of them, that means that there are 8 more that are intangible, and we are not able to perceive because we don't have the scientific necessities needed metaphysically, physically, to interact with them. And that's why the belief of extraterrestrials has moved from them being from outer space to now they think that they are interdimensional beings, which means they're here right now. Like, they could probably be in your fridge right now looking for food, but they can't touch it or nothing. But like, they probably, are just around perceiving, creating, forcing you to manifest the things that produce the energy they need. And that's where the reptilian theory comes into it, is because they say reptilians feed off of negative emotions. Well, what if they are imperceivable to us, but they're sitting right beside you right now whenever those negative emotions come up, just feeding off of you? And what if they implant these ideas in the ways that they can to force the spreading and the growth of negative interactions and negative opinions and negative emotions without us knowing? It's crazy, right?
Here's where it's also going to get controversial, perhaps. Cloud seeding is something that I studied in school for meteorology, weather modification. Back when I went to school, it was like, poo-pooed a little bit. It was too expensive, it's not efficient enough. Well, guess what? When you get desperate and then technology gets better, 20 years later, here we are. Cloud seeding is ramping up so big. You see me there showing that flare on the plane. They send silver iodide into the clouds, and then it makes it snow more. So they can't make a cloud, right? But they're taking storms that are already there and then giving it a little boost. So that part's not new. What's new is they have hundreds of these ground cloud seeders. So they're actually puffing the silver iodide with a flare. And you see, I think I have a picture of the actual ground cloud seeder into the air. That thing sits all over the Rocky Mountains, all over the American West. 10 states are doing this. And I wanted to tell the story because my friend Russ is the state climatologist of Colorado. And he said, you've got to see what's happening with cloud seeding. It is huge, and it's only getting bigger by next year.
And we know that things can change. We saw it during the pandemic. There was, the waterways in Venice cleared up.
That's right.
We saw what can happen when we're much better respectful of the earth.
Yeah.
So now you know that cloud seeding is actually real. Chemtrails, whatever you want to call it. Now, I can't say that it has happened in my state where I live, because year round we get 8 seasons a year anyway. You can wake up cold and end up in a tornado by 3 o'clock. So I can't say for sure that that's because of what they're doing with the cloud seeding, but what I will say is I've known that it was a possibility, and now I know that it's real. And I've known that for a long time. And it's weird to me that there are people that ignore the proof that's put directly into their face to do something as simple as win an argument. Um, Accepting that you're wrong, that's just something that comes with life. And if you can't do that, maybe you don't need to be an adult yet. Maybe go back to, like, I don't know, like fourth, fifth grade, and just start over, try to get a feel for your personality and see if you can link onto that emotional growth again once you watch Bridge of Terabithia.
All right, people that's being gang stalked, I think you are on a list because of the stuff that you know. And they're making sure that you're not meeting up with other people to conspire anything. Like, they know you're probably not going to speak on certain things on the phone. So they probably thinking that we need to follow these people around, make sure they're not ganging up together and coming up with a plan for anything. So they gang stalking.
So, gang stalking is 100% real. Federal employee, 2 federal careers. All I'm going to let you know is they got it down to a science. Now, sometimes what that does is that drives people to believe that everything that's happening to them is because of that situation versus being able to decipher and look into detail and understand that it's just instances throughout the day where that's happening versus, oh, you forgot your phone and now you think that they broke into your house and stole it or something like that. But all I'm going to say is if you've never researched what gang stalking is, if you've never researched what psychological operations are, then you are very, very misinformed and very, very uneducated on the topic of gang stalking. And most of the people that try to distract you or take away from the solidarity of that being an actual phenomenon that's happening in the world, those are probably people that are in on it. I won't speak too much on it because I don't like to re-trigger myself about situations like that. All I'm going to say is people who are targeted individuals, I believe you. I know what's going on. Everybody doesn't have to know, but this isn't a theory. This is something that's actually happening to people, and I've been able to prove it because I'm Batman.
Reptilians really came into control and started to be able to manipulate what was going on the face of the planet about 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. It is true that they have different masking technologies to be able to be in a room and look like a human, but usually they're in underground bases in various places on the globe, as well as in a huge area in Antarctica. The southeast region has a large number of underground caverns that are kept extremely warm, too warm for humans, by geothermal heat. It's a perfect place for all of these colonies that the reptilians have. They're basically cities, huge cities with millions of them.
So this was a touchy topic. Like, the belief in reptilians is one that is easy to make fun of for the people that don't believe in such a thing. But when you have enough interactions, when you're old enough and you experience enough people and you've been enough places, you understand that something really isn't right with certain people. And it's not something you can just dwindle down to maybe they have a mental disorder or condition, or maybe they were just raised in a sheltered environment. So socially, they're not really up to par with people. It's not stuff like that. It's like walking into a room and instantly pointing out someone like in your head, like not actually doing it, but in your head, just locking onto a person and knowing that something is not right. And then you realize that person's always staring at you, that person's always involved in negative interactions, that person is always seeming like they're up to something, and put you can't really put a pin on it. You know what I'm saying? You can't put a finger on it. And it's still like it's a fringe theory. Like it's like something you would need to contact somebody that has the resources to pay for the research you want to do in order to prove something like this to be real. So like I never get upset when people make fun of the belief of this or anything like that. It's just it's a belief that I just use to direct my positive mindset and the way that I move about the world. And I just think it's, if not real, it's a very entertaining topic as far as keeping your mind busy connecting the dots.
Have you ever heard of a game called Werewolf?
No.
Everyone gets a piece of paper. It's either got villager written on it, but 2 have the word werewolf. Someone runs the game to make sure no one's cheating, and they go, okay, it's nighttime, everyone close your eyes. Werewolves choose someone to kill, and the werewolves go. They say, okay, everyone close your eyes, it's morning time, open them again. During the night, Francis was killed. There's then a conversation, and this is where it gets interesting, between all the villagers and the 2 werewolves over who the werewolves are. Then at the end of the day, the villagers have to decide who they're going to kill, and they say, well, we're going to kill Constantine. It's revealed by the person running the game, I'm afraid Constantine was a villager. And the game continues. The villagers win the game if they kill both werewolves. The werewolves win the game if they kill all but 2 villagers. And the werewolves usually win. The game was invented by a student of sociology in Russia who wanted to prove his thesis that an uninformed majority will always lose a battle of information against an informed minority. So that just shows when you have hidden information, you can completely manipulate a large group of people.
And that will connect the last topic that I just talked about. When you are the one in the know, it's easy. It's very, very easy to play 4D chess with people. And to just give you a short definition on what that is, 4D chess is being the one that knows the truth. And if it's such a wild fringe idea, if it's a truth that you know no one will believe, you just put it out. You put it out, you sneak it into the masses, and you have people battle over if it's real or not when you actually know for a fact that it is. Well, in turn, what that does is that sends people on a witch hunt, and they start thinking, oh, this person might be this person might be this person might be this. You already know who's all at play, and actually being, on the offense and actually being mischievous and doing all the dirt out here. But the person that's controlling the information, the person that's controlling how much and what kind of proof you get, that's going to be the person that controls the game. So while you might be smart, you might be a person who can figure out everything, it doesn't mean you're going to always win the game. It just means you're going to know how to play it better than other people. Still might lose.
Saya lagi senang seperti ini, dia akan muncul di bawahnya jadi happy. Dan ketika saya marah, dia akan muncul di bawahnya angry. Dan juga ketika saya sedih seperti ini, dia akan menunjukkan bahwasanya saya sedang sedih, sad.
If I'm on my computer and I'm playing with a facial recognition app and a 565-year-old ghost shows up and it says that it's angry, I'm gonna probably just go ahead and Airbnb for the night and figure out where I'm gonna live, because clearly that's not my house and it's probably still theirs. They might have the deed at that age.
The salt on McDonald's French fries has 3 ingredients. 3 ingredients in salt? What? What 3 ingredients are in the salt at McDonald's? Salt, which is sodium chloride, sugar, dextrose, and silicoaluminate, an aluminum salt, which contains aluminum, which has been linked to all sorts of neurological issues in humans, including neurodegenerative issues, dementia, like Alzheimer's disease. That's what's in your salt at McDonald's. Not just sodium chloride, salt, sugar, and aluminum salts? Man, if these weren't bad enough, the salt even has 3 ingredients here.
So since I had already known about the hidden secret ingredients in foods and fast food and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and believe them. But even if I didn't, I'm going to believe him just off the fact that he went and spent the money to get the fries just to talk about them. Like, you got to just respect the person that'll go and purchase the product they want to do research on and inform people about.
I make a prediction by the year 250. I have a bunch of predictions here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Neuroscience and our understanding of the human mind will become so advanced that mental illness will be cured, leaving psychologists and psychiatrists without jobs. In a shift that echoes the rapid conversion from horses to automobiles in the early 20th century, self-driving electric vehicles will fully replace all cars and trucks on the road. The human space program will fully transition to a space industry supported not by tax dollars, but by tourism and anything else people dream of doing in space. We develop a perfect antiviral serum and cure cancer. Medicines will tailor to your own DNA, leaving no adverse side effects. We will learn how to regrow lost limbs and failing organs, bringing us up to the level of other regenerating animals on Earth, like salamanders, starfish, and lobsters.
So they've already figured out how to isolate the DNA that causes these special abilities in all of these animals. So it's not really a stretch to believe the predictions that Neil deGrasse Tyson comes up with, because first of all, he has a mind that has more common sense and the ability to correlate than anybody on Earth. So I believe him, because I mean, we went from brick cell phones to 5G in about 15 years. So ain't no telling what they got out here that they ain't showed us yet.
You ever been down the Paramount rabbit hole? Yeah, watch these 22 stars go and hover over the waters and then congregate over the Paramount. Para means what? Means breath. Breath means what? Well, breath means spirit, and it hovered over the waters in Genesis. So we have, count them, 22 stars, Paramount, paranormal mountain. What could be the paranormal mountain? Well, I'll tell you what, it's Mount Hermon. What's crazy is, in the book of Enoch, 200 angels fell on Mount Hermon and congregated, and there was 22 leaders that were named. Enoch chapter 6, and you can pause and read, but 200 angels, 22 of those were named, and these are all the angels that fell down and congregated at Mount Hermon to talk about how they were going to basically take over the world with unrighteousness. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'll give you the opportunity to pause and read all of this, because in Enoch chapter 6 through 10, there's some interesting things that I personally feel like speak to what's going on right now. And when it comes to stars, Revelation 9 talks about a star fell from heaven and he was given the key to the bottomless pit. And Revelation 9:11 talks about Apollyon. Mount Hermon means the mountain of the chief. What chief? Could it be that chief star that looked like lightning falling from heaven? Hey, Yeshua saw it. It's so funny that stars, falling stars, are referred to as angels and angels referred to as stars. And you got this Paramount with 22 of these named stars, and the name Hermon meaning devoted to destruction. And in German it means soldier. So this is the Mountain of the Chief, where 22 soldiers met to talk about destruction. And it's so weird that celebrities are called stars. And there's the Hollywood Walk of Fame with all of these stars that are named. I'm wondering if these fallen angels have inhabited bodies and taken over to bring more destruction to the earth. Because it seems that Hollywood and the music industry, they all promote unrighteousness and ungodliness. And it's like they're trying to spread it across the world. And if this Paramount is paying homage to this situation that happened in the book of Enoch, well, then that would have to mean that they know exactly what they are doing, and they're doing it on purpose. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because every 22 of these leader angels that are named, their names have meanings. They lead the 200 fallen angels that bring unrighteousness to the world. All the evil, the freaking magic, and all this crazy stuff that's going on. Superb owl, rituals, and all this creepy Masonic ritual. Oh, did you know that Mount Hermon is actually on the 33-degree north longitude? 33. Oh, and 1/3 of the angels fell with Lucifer, and 1/3 out of 100% just so happens to be 33.33%. This is just to get you started. Start going down this rabbit hole. Find out for yourself. Look, they know what they're doing. They're paying homage to these fallen angels because, hey, they might just be the fallen angels. So next time you see a falling star, don't wish upon it.
Since my mind already moves a lot faster than that, I was able to process all that information, but I can only imagine how many times he ran out of red yarn putting this story together. That's all I'm going to say. Well, that was my 11. Tune in next time. Might have something special for y'all. I'll be back.